Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I offer an update on the case of Abigail Zwerner? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoy this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the shooting, then offer my analysis. This case takes place at the Rich Neck Elementary School in Newport News, Virginia. In 2023, the school had 558 students in kindergarten through the 5th grade. There are two key figures in this story: a 25-year-old first grade teacher named Abigail Zwerner and a 6-year-old male student in Abigail's class who has not been named. In this video, I will simply refer to him as the 6-year-old boy or just the boy. Now moving to the timeline of the shooting. In September 2022, the boy was given a change of schedule by the school due to his bad behavior. Specifically, he was spending a half day at school. The boy was well known to the school administration. He had been in trouble many times before. During one incident from the prior year, he attempted to strangle his kindergarten teacher by wrapping his arms around the teacher's neck from behind. It sounds like he approached her from behind and kind of jumped on her and grabbed her. It's not clear how the kindergarten student could have reached the teacher's neck based on the presumed difference in height, but somehow he did. Perhaps the teacher was kneeling or on the ground, or somehow the boy was standing on something. The boy was removed from the school for a period of time, but evidently allowed to return. It's not clear what specific bad behavior prompted the half-day school schedule at the beginning of the boy's first grade year, but there were at least a few to choose from. For example, the boy would constantly curse at teachers and staff, and during one incident on the playground, he removed his belt and chased other students around trying to strike them. Abigail texted a friend on September 5, saying that she had not received any information about the half-day schedule. This makes it seem as though the school administrators were not keeping Abigail in the loop as far as what was happening with the boy. The 6-year-old boy was involved in other incidents as well. For example, he barricaded the doors of a classroom, threw furniture and other items in class. He told another teacher that he hated Abigail. He wanted to light her on fire and watch her die. And when he was supposed to be in class, the boy frequently wandered around the school unsupervised. Now moving forward to early 2023, according to a text message that Abigail sent to a friend, a disturbing incident occurred on January 4, 2023. The 6-year-old boy took her phone from her and smashed it into the ground. The boy was suspended for a day after this incident. On January 6, which was 2 days after the phone smashing incident, the 6-year-old boy put a Taurus 9mm semi-automatic pistol in his backpack before going to school. An attorney for the boy's family would later say that the pistol was secured by a trigger lock and was stored on the top shelf of a closet in the mother's bedroom. It's not clear how the boy obtained the firearm or how he managed to disable the trigger lock, but it did not have a trigger lock on it when he had it in school. By this point, the boy was supposed to be on a special schedule where one of his parents would be with him during class. For some reason, the parents stopped doing this just a few days before January 6. The boy's mother brought him to school that morning, arriving at around 11 a.m. Lunch started at 11:05 a.m. Students from both kindergarten and the first grade were combined for lunch. They were in the same room. During lunch, the boy had a disturbing encounter with a kindergarten student. The student said that she had wanted to become friends with the 6-year-old boy. When she saw him at lunch that day, she looked over at him in an effort to attract his attention. She was successful, but the boy's reaction was unexpected. He walked over to her and said, quote, "What are you looking at, little girl?" unquote. He then quickly moved toward her, raising his fist, and said, quote, "I'm going to punch you in the face," unquote. Frightened, the girl fled the table and approached a staff member. The staff member confronted the 6-year-old boy, warning him that he could go to the principal's office if he punched a student. News of this incident reached Abigail. She went to the assistant principal's office at around 11:30 a.m. and said that the 6-year-old boy was in a violent mood. Administrators did not take any action based on this appropriate warning. At 12:20 p.m., rumors were spreading that the 6-year-old boy had a weapon. His backpack was searched by a teacher at 12:30 p.m., but no weapon was found. Abigail told another employee that she caught a glimpse of the 6-year-old boy taking something out of his backpack and placing it in his pocket. Abigail was concerned that it was a gun. The employee went to the assistant principal only to receive a response something like, "Well, he has little pockets." It sounds like the assistant principal was implying the boy's pockets had insufficient capacity for a pistol. No action was taken, and the boy went outside for recess. During recess, the boy talked to 3 other students and informed them of his intent to shoot his teacher Abigail, and he threatened to shoot them if they revealed his homicidal plan to anyone. The boy showed part of the pistol to another male student. Reports claim that he showed the clip, but a Taurus 9mm semi-automatic pistol does not have a clip. It has a magazine. I presume that he showed the other student a magazine. The male student who had been shown part of the gun requested to go play in another area of the playground. He then told the teacher about what he had seen. This report made its way back to the assistant principal, who indicated that she was aware of the threat and the boy's backpack had already been searched. The assistant principal was approached by a guidance counselor who also advised her that the 6-year-old boy may have a gun. The guidance counselor asked for permission to search the boy's person for a gun. The assistant principal denied the request because the boy's mother would be arriving soon to pick him up. School officials never notified the police about the numerous reports that the boy had a gun, and they never searched his person. The 6-year-old boy continued to his first grade class at about 12:50 p.m. when recess was over. At 1:59 p.m., Abigail was teaching a lesson when the boy produced the Taurus 9mm pistol. He pointed the weapon at Abigail and fired a single shot. The bullet penetrated her hand, which was raised in the air, and then entered her upper chest. The shooting was not preceded by any type of altercation. One parent of a student who was in the classroom said that Abigail was reaching for the gun when the boy shot her, like Abigail was trying to get the gun away from the boy. After Abigail was shot, she yelled out, I'm shot, call 911. She escorted her students outside of the classroom to create distance between them and the shooter. Abigail made sure that all her students made it out safely. As this was happening, another staff member restrained the 6-year-old boy. Abigail was transported to a hospital with life-threatening injuries. She was in stable condition by January 8 and released in mid-January to recover at home. Reportedly, the bullet is still inside her body. The 6-year-old shooter was taken into custody and received a mental health assessment. The police said the gun used in the shooting had been legally purchased by the boy's mother. The assistant principal resigned on January 25. At the time making this video, the police are still investigating. No charges have been filed against anyone. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me with the update in this case. Item number 1. After the shooting, students from 2 different second grade classes were wandering the halls of the school looking for some place to hide. Reportedly, the classroom they had been in was not equipped with doors. In addition, they had not rehearsed safety drills, so they had no guidance about what to do. They did not know where to run. A second grade teacher asked the administrators to install doors before this incident, but they said that it would be too expensive. Item number 2. The 6-year-old boy may have engaged in the most dangerous and dramatic behavior as compared to anyone else in the school, but he was not the only student with behavioral problems. Another one of Abigail's students reportedly attacked a teacher with a chair. The teacher was hit so hard that her legs were covered with purple and green bruises. The teacher did not hear anything from the administration about what actions would be taken in response to the attack. During a separate incident, a student in kindergarten pushed a pregnant teacher to the ground and kicked her in the stomach. She was attacked so violently she feared for the safety of her unborn child. Item number 3. I think it says something about the culture of the school that several employees suspected that the 6-year-old boy had a gun, yet nobody took sufficient action to stop him. Some of the teachers and staff did not react because they did not have permission. They wanted to take action, but they were not allowed. Perhaps they were worried that if they took steps without permission, they would be fired or otherwise disciplined. They were trying to follow the chain of command, although in this case, following the rules was a bad idea. I find it worrisome that Abigail reportedly saw the 6-year-old boy put what she thought might be a weapon in his pocket, yet the administration did not feel compelled to take action on this information. What more could Abigail have possibly done? Here she was essentially saying something like, "This boy right here is carrying a gun in his pocket right now." If that message doesn't get through to the administration, it's not clear what message would get through. What proof were the supervisors waiting for? Abigail was an eyewitness. It just doesn't make any sense at all that they wouldn't listen to her. I think it's reasonable to believe that these school officials simply did not want to get involved. They were hoping the problem would just go away by itself. Moving on to the final item, number 4. What do I think happened in this case based on the updated information? This is just a theory, my opinion. It sounds as though the 6-year-old boy has severe behavioral problems and should have never been allowed near other students. He had repeatedly violated the rules and placed people in danger. Because he was only 6 years old, school officials did not know what to do with him and perhaps did not really believe he was that dangerous. Nobody expects a boy that age to have access to a firearm and be motivated to use it. I think the teachers who warned the administration about the boy's dangerousness were probably dismissed as overreacting. As far as the teachers and staff following the orders of the assistant principal, when her orders were incautious and reckless, I think this simply demonstrates how employees are connected to systems and encouraged to respect authority. They are part of a larger machine. Respecting the chain of command facilitates the smooth functioning of the school, or at least that's what it's supposed to do. Sometimes when people get trapped in this mentality that they need to have a tremendous respect for authority, they forget that there are certain events which should override that respect and prompt independent and potentially defiant action. Any command that involves ignoring a 6-year-old with a pistol is not a valid order. Those are my thoughts on the update of the Abigail Zwerner case. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.